Hey, welcome to the Eddie Hyatt podcast. I'm so glad to be back with you on this Thursday morning. And as we continue our journey through the book of Acts, life changing lessons from the book of Acts. I've missed being with you the last 3 mornings. There's just been it's just a really busy time in life. Uh, God is so good, so many good things happening. I have a new book that's going to be coming out uh, in a few days. Could be a month or so. But it's very significant in light of this is the 250th birthday of the United States of America, this July the 4th. And I believe that something significant is happening. So I have a new book. It's going to be about probably around 180 pages, and it's called "Is This America's Reawakening?" So watch for that. So I'm so sorry to have missed you the last 3 days, but I'm glad to be back today. And we're going to pick up where we left off in our last episode. In the last episode, we were talking about how God moved so powerfully uh, through Paul there when he was shipwrecked on the island of Malta. And I think our theme was Shake It Off because as he was gathering sticks, I mean, he's going through so much. He is a prisoner. He's being taken to Rome. He's shipwrecked. It's cold. It's raining. He's gathering some sticks for a fire. A poisonous viper latches onto his hand, but Paul shakes it off. Yes, and we have to shake some things off in life. And he shook it off and continued on, and God opened up an opportunity to minister on that island, and a great healing revival broke out there on the island of Malta, there in the Mediterranean, because Paul would not allow anything to distract him and pull him back from his purpose. Now, they were on this island for 3 months, and we are now in Acts chapter 28. We're in the last chapter, verse 11, and Luke says, after 3 months, uh, we sailed in an Alexandrian ship, and so now they're headed for Rome. They make a stop in Syracuse, and from there they continue. And then in verse 13 it says, "From there we circled around and reached Rhegium. And after one day the south wind blew, and the next day we came to Puteoli." Now Puteoli is on the coast of Italy. Uh, it's still there today. You can look it up on a map. Actually, there has been a name change, but you can look up Puteoli, um, in your browser, and it will bring you there. It's a part of the Naples. It's part of the metro area of Naples, Italy. It's about 140 miles from Rome, and it seems from reading here that they continued the rest of their journey by foot. 140 miles from Puteoli, which would be today it's a part of the larger Naples, as I said, metro area. Um, and then verse 15 it says, "From there, when the brethren heard about us, they came to meet us as far as Appii Forum and Three Taverns." This was like a stopping point on the main road leading into Rome, and it is about 40 miles from Rome. And so they so he says, when the brethren heard about us, these are the brethren from Rome, they came to meet us there. And it says, when Paul saw them, he thanked God and took courage. I think it is amazing. Remember, this is a time that there is no modern transportation, there's no modern communications, there's no internet, there's no television, there's no radio, there's no printing presses. And yet, this is about 30 years since the ascension of Jesus back into heaven and the commissioning of his disciples to go into all the world. And here, there are Christians already in Rome. Paul says the brethren, they came to meet us. The message had preceded him to Rome, and there's already a community of believers in Rome. And then verse 16 says, "Now when we came to Rome, the centurion delivered the prisoners to the captain of the guard, but Paul was permitted to dwell by himself with the soldier who guarded him." Now, this is very important for what we want to say. Paul was permitted to dwell by himself with the soldier who guarded him. So, even in the midst of his trial, Paul has special favor. He's not locked up with the other prisoners. He's allowed to dwell along with the soldier who's guarding him. My friend, no matter what kind of difficulties you are facing, no matter what trial or test you're going through, expect God's blessing and favor to be manifest in the midst of that trial and test. And so Paul is permitted to dwell by himself with the soldier who guarded him. Now, turn on over. Now, he calls for the Jews, the Jewish leaders in Rome, and he shares with them why he is there. Paul always, because he was Jewish, Jesus, as far as his natural birth was Jewish, the Christianity began within a Jewish context in Jerusalem. So Paul always made a point to reach out to the Jews in whatever city he was in. So he called for the Jewish leaders, and they came, and he laid out his situation to them, why he was there. Um, so there's something that they said after Paul explained to him why he was there, and of course he would have told them that he is a follower of Jesus, but the Jews in Jerusalem were not accepting of him at all, and they had set about to a mob to kill him, and then he had appealed to Rome. It's at verse 24 says, let me see, the passage I wanted to read. Verse 22. So they said to him, well, we desire, verse 22 of the last chapter of Acts, we desire to hear from you what you think. For concerning this sect, now they're talking about Christianity, because at this time it was considered a sect of Judaism. But we desire to hear from you what you think. For concerning this sect, we know that it is spoken against everywhere. According to them, Christianity did not have a good a a good reputation. Uh, not because of Christianity itself, but because it was so challenging to the traditions of of the Jewish people in so many places. But now let's go down to verse 30, and Luke is going to sum up Paul's situation. He says, "Then Paul," verse 30, "dwelt 2 whole years in his own rented house." Now remember, there is a soldier guarding him, so he is chained to a soldier all this time. And received all who came to him. So he was free to receive visitors during this time. So he's there, he's awaiting his trial date. Got his own rented house. He's chained to a Roman soldier. He can't leave, but he's free to have visitors. And so then Paul dwelt 2 whole years in his own rented house and received all who came to him, preaching the kingdom of God and teaching those things which concern the Lord Jesus Christ with confidence, no one forbidding him. Wow, what an incredible situation he has set up. I told my friends, I call this the providence of God. Oh, how we need to believe in the providence of God. What do I mean by the providence of God? That our God, the great, the mighty creator, in his infinite wisdom and limitless knowledge and limitless power, he is causing even the difficult and the hard things of life. He's taking them and he's twisting them and he's turning them so that they turn out for the good and the advancement of his kingdom and his cause. In other words, he is superintending the flow of life and history. That doesn't mean that he's the direct cause of everything that happens. No, he isn't. But he works in ways to cause everything that happens to flow in a direction that's ultimately going to uh, uh, turn out to the fulfillment of his will and cause. This is what Paul was speaking about in is it Romans 8? Is it 28, I believe, where he says, and we know that all things work together for good to those who love God, to those who are called according to his purpose. So now think about this. Paul is there, and we're going to wind this up. Now listen, this is very powerful. Listen to this. And so Paul, he's there for 2 years. preaching the gospel of the kingdom, no one forbidding him. He's free to have visitors. There is a soldier chained to him. Now we know from the book of Philippians, and we're going to turn over to Philippians because during this period, this 2-year period, Paul also wrote 3 letters, 4 letters, 3 letters to churches, one to an individual. He wrote Ephesians, Colossians, and Philippians, and he wrote a personal letter to Philemon, which are all part of the New Testament. But I want to show you something he says in his letter to the Philippians. Now, this is while he is there in his rented house, chained to this soldier, that he makes this amazing statement. And this is in Philippians 1:12. He says, "But I want you to know, brothers and sisters, that the things which happened to me have actually turned out for the furtherance of the gospel." Wow. Things have turned out. You know about the things you've heard about how there was a mob that tried to kill me. In Jerusalem, you heard about how I've been incarcerated by the Romans now for it's running into like 3 and 4 years at this time, and how I've been taken as a prisoner to Rome. But I want you to know that the things which happened to me have actually turned out for the furtherance of the gospel. My friends, if our goal is the furtherance of the gospel, God will cause everything, even those things of wicked people, to turn out for our good and our ability to further the message of Jesus Christ to this world. Hey, I'm going to stop there, but don't miss tomorrow because I'm going to go into detail because Paul goes into detail exactly how God had caused all these things that had happened to him to turn out to the furtherance of the gospel. So I'm Eddie Hyatt. This is the Eddie Hyatt Podcast. Check out my website, eddiehyatt.com. Check out the Hyatt Institute, an online training program. And I'll look forward to seeing you tomorrow. God bless you.